Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. My name is Lucia and this is Lulu's Leaves.
I'm no good at being good, but I never said I was. And I feel misunderstood cause I'm trying hard to love.
In today's video, I want to talk to you guys about my 5 biggest houseplants. And honestly, some of them are looking good, some of them are not. I have only recently started getting into larger houseplants, so it's been a little bit of a learning curve to say the least, because in the past I've been used to taking care of plants in small pots, and if you're not completely familiar with houseplants, it's definitely a little bit more easy to take care of plants in smaller pots. Just due to watering and repotting, all of the above, having plants in smaller containers is usually much easier. So in this video, I do want to show you guys my top 5 largest houseplants, but I also want to show you guys some of the struggles that I've been having with having larger plants, and I also want to show you kind of why I'm using larger plants in certain areas. But yeah, we're going to talk about all of that in today's video. But before we do get into that, I want to announce this week's giveaway winner. Congratulations, you are the winner. If you guys didn't win this week, do not worry. I am doing weekly giveaways, so if you didn't win this time, there are so many more opportunities coming up. All you have to do to enter is like this video, comment down below, and also subscribe to this channel, and that will get you entered for this next week's giveaway. I also do want to mention that I have YouTube memberships. We have a great community over on Discord where we chat all the time. There are also some other perks, so check those out down below in the description if you are interested. I also have merch if you're interested, and that is also linked down below if you want some. So yeah, that's going to be all before we get into this video. It might be a shorter one, but I still hope you guys definitely enjoy it. So the first larger plant I have is this beautiful Dracaena marginata. This is one of my newest larger plants actually, and I am absolutely loving it. I love the different aspect that it brings to this corner of the room. It adds a really funky element. You guys know I love my Hoya Shepherdii over there, and this one gives me similar vibes, but in a tree form, if you get what I'm saying. So if you like that kind of spiky, spunky plant, this is definitely one that you might enjoy. I also got one that has an open weave, which just means there's some space between the braid. I really like that as well, but I do think over time that's going to kind of fade away. When I got this plant, it did have some spacers in between the weave to keep it separated, so I don't know if since I took those out if it's going to kind of collapse, but either way it's braided and it's really beautiful. So one thing I do also want to mention is my new cat, little Lumi, is interested in sitting in baskets, and this plant is sitting in a basket along with basically all of my other large plants. So what I have done for the meantime is put some unused towels or like dish towels in the base of the plant because she really just likes the texture of the soil. So that is working for right now. She's actually not even interested in staying in there. I'm pretty sure that is going to work. What I do plan on doing when I can go to the store is getting some larger rocks to put on top. I don't suggest this if you don't have cats and you don't have this issue. I just don't want my cat to get sick by ingesting any soil. So that is why I'm doing it. But typically I wouldn't recommend putting rocks on top of your soil because it stops the plant from being able to breathe as much. But I'm gonna take that chance with this guy just because I care a little bit more about my cat than this plant. But yeah, I think it'll be just fine with some rocks in there eventually. Other than that though, this plant has been an absolute breeze. I haven't had to water it since I got it about a week or two ago. So yeah, I am seeing like a few little yellow leaves here, but it's not anything concerning at this point. There's probably 3 on this entire plant. So again, not something to be worried about. It could just be very natural, this plant just losing some leaves. So yeah, I will continue to take care of this guy the best that I can, but it's doing pretty well. So I'm pretty happy with the choice to get it. Next up, we'll move right on over to my Anthurium Vicia. This is another one of my favorite plants. This guy is just gorgeous. This guy is definitely my largest, rarest plant. You'll see a little bit later, I do have another rare plant that is quite large, but this one definitely takes the cake for the rarest in the largest size, if that makes any sense. But this is the newest leaf here, just coming out so beautifully. Unfortunately, it did rip a little bit there, but there was absolutely nothing I could have done. I literally had not touched the leaf once and that happened. So it was definitely just a natural error. But if you guys have kept plants for long enough, you know that they are not perfect. You are going to get some imperfections on the leaves, and that is very, very natural. So don't be worried if some of your leaves don't come out completely perfect. That is so normal, and we need to start normalizing that on YouTube too. This guy is currently sitting in, I believe, an 8-inch pot with some pretty nice soil. This was not mixed by me, so I don't know exactly what it is, but it does look like there are some larger rock/perlite pieces in here, some jumbo perlite, some soil, smaller perlite, charcoal, bark, all of the good stuff that I love. That is why I didn't repot this guy. It's also in a clear pot, which you guys know makes my heart happy. I think it's going to be quite a while before I do end up repotting this guy, because I just don't want to risk, you know, damaging the plant by repotting it or shocking it. And I will probably wait another year or so. Maybe in the middle of summer, if this plant grows some crazy roots and I feel comfortable enough, I might repot it, but I think it looks really nice, and it would be a shame to have to take it out of this nice little pot as well. I think this guy does need some water, so we may as well do that while I am here with you guys. I will go fill up the watering can and I'll be right back. All right, so I'm back with the water, and we're just gonna go ahead and water this guy. It's about time. And luckily this pot actually has a liner in it, which is really, really nice. It was used as a garbage can in its last home. So yeah, it does have a little liner, so I'm comfortable watering the plant in here. Let's see if it's draining. So it is draining, but I still want to give it a little bit more thorough of a watering. So let's go one more pass through, and that should be good for this guy. So yeah, the Anthurium Vicia is definitely one of my most prized possessions, but yeah, it's a really, really cool plant. I know it's not easy to get your hands on one this size. I was lucky enough to trade for this plant, so I didn't have to pay a ton. I didn't pay anything. I just traded some valuable plants for this guy. So if you can get lucky and score a trade for a big Vicia, I would do it. Okay, so I lied. The plant is dripping all over the place, but I've got a little towel here from the plant, so we're just gonna manage this. I'm gonna go dump this guy out. Now that that crisis is averted, before we do move on from this plant, I do want to mention the fact that I love that all of these leaves have really shifted towards the front. I set this one up so that the brand new leaf was facing the window when it was coming out. So yeah, all of these leaves kind of turned around and are now facing the front, which is really, really great. Next up for the largest plants is this beautiful Fiddle Leaf Fig that is unfortunately struggling quite a bit. I feel like everyone has their struggles with this plant, and I am currently struggling with pests. This guy has scale, unfortunately, but I am working on it. It just does lose a lot of leaves, but it still has a lot to lose, so I mean, you know, I'm just gonna take this leaf off. It kind of pruned itself there, if you can't tell, but yeah, this is one that I got when I moved here, so it's been about 3 months or so now, and I did kind of neglect the treatment on this one for a little bit, so that is why it's not doing the best. Only recently have I kind of vowed to get back on track with treating this plant, so it's gonna be a little bit of a long road, and I hope that I can save it before this plant decides to just kick the bucket, because these ones, they do that. But we will just have to wait and see. I'm going to do my best to take care of this the best that I can, and hopefully I can eradicate all the pests, but it is really difficult because there are a lot of leaves. It's really, really hard to get every single pest off the plant and wipe it all down and not knock all the leaves off while I'm trying to vigorously wipe it down. Again, this plant does have a towel around the base until I can get some little rocks for it. I mean, big rocks. I don't want anything that Lumi can choke on, but yeah, I think it looks pretty good still, so hopefully we won't have to see this one die. Hopefully I can just save it just in time. I did really want a Fiddle Leaf Fig for this house though, because I think it's so beautiful. It's a statement plant for sure. The leaves get so nice and shiny. We're gonna lose this leaf here. Yeah, it's already off, but I don't know. I don't know what to do. Let me know if you have any advice for treating this plant. I'm gonna continue to just wipe the leaves down, but hopefully that's what will do it. I did just water the plant, so it's not a watering issue anymore, at least I know. So yeah, we'll just put this with the other leaf in the graveyard. The next hanging plant is actually just kitty corner to this guy here, and this is my beautiful large Philodendron Brazil. Again, sorry about the lighting. This is a little bit deeper into the room, so it's not abundant with natural light over here, but this plant definitely gets enough to survive, and it's already such a big giant plant, and I don't actually want it to grow super duper quickly, so that is kind of why it's just chilling over here. It's also here to stay away from little kitty. I have it on the top shelf so that it kind of ends right there, so she can't play with the bottom of it, because philodendrons are mildly toxic to cats, so we don't want them to get into the plants here, but I am trying to train her not to get into the plants. We'll see how that goes. I may make a video about that in the future, but we will just have to see. This is another plant that I did trade for a little while ago. I will actually say this is one of my favorite trades. I traded a big bucket of leca for this giant Philodendron Brazil. I know you guys hate when I'm always playing with my plants, but I can't help it. And I don't think they mind. But yeah, I really do love this plant, and I'm happy that I was able to find another really nice trailing plant. I actually don't know if you guys noticed, but I got rid of my really long Philodendron heteroecium. It was just looking so scraggly, and I wasn't really into the plant anymore, so I decided it was time. I am going to give it away for free to someone in a local Facebook group, so if you're in my area, definitely check out the local Facebook groups if you're interested. But I definitely can't see myself getting rid of this beauty anytime soon. I see some of these leaves are going pretty neon, so we may get some reverted little vines here, but we won't know for a little while. I am really hoping that because it's right near this guy with the scale, that this guy doesn't get it, but I feel like scale doesn't really travel very quickly from plant to plant, so we should be okay, especially since I'm staying on top of treating this guy. But yeah, this is definitely another one of my favorite largest plants in my collection. All right, guys, well, last but not least, we have my beautiful Philodendron Gloriosum. This is the largest plant that I've had for the longest amount of time. You guys know this guy has been with me since almost the beginning of my plant journey. I got this plant at Hemans. It was actually 2 plants that I put into one, and yeah, it was really fun. I repotted it in a older video, but I still actually love that video. It kind of aged well for me. But yeah, I've cut this guy so many times. A lot of people have pieces of this plant, but it still continues to grow back. There is a new leaf popping out in the back there, which is really exciting because it was growing really slow for a while. And then we also have this little offshoot here that kind of has these uglier leaves. You can see this may be variegation, but we'll see when the next leaf comes out. I'm excited for that. But yeah, it has been doing much better in the last little while. I did treat it for spider mites. Mostly just this leaf over here had spider mites, and I didn't really see it much on any other leaves other than in the little gap between the lobes. But other than that, this plant is doing really well. I do want to repot this plant in a future video into a white pot to kind of match the vibe of everything else on this shelf, because it's a little bit of an eyesore right now. just because of the style that I have going on this shelf, if you know what I mean. I do love terracotta, but it's very, very orange in contrast with all of the white pots here and the white cabinet. So yeah, I do really, really love the Gloriosum, and I can't wait for this guy to just explode over the summer months. I really hope to get some new growth so that I can propagate again to get some trades going, but we'll see. I don't want to shock it too much. But this is definitely another one of my favorite plants. It's been with me for so long, I can't not love it. All right guys, well that is it for my top 5 largest houseplants. They're also some of my favorite houseplants right now, but I really hope you guys did enjoy today's video. Don't forget to enter next week's giveaway by giving this video a thumbs up, commenting, and subscribing down below. But that's gonna be all for this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one. Bye guys!